Hey, thanks for joining us here for Sight Lap. I'm your host, David Pingree, and I'm joined by Bruce Murata and our special guest, Davi Millsaps, a guy who is no stranger to Daytona, has had a lot of races down there, including a couple of mutters.
Yeah.
Davey, thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks for having me.
Well, it's brought to you by Rock and Turf, Maxxis, and Speed Straps. We appreciate these guys' support. Check out Rock and Turf on Instagram for artificial turf, any kind of hardscape needs. Maxxis truck tires. They make all kinds of crazy stuff, no matter what you're after. And then Speed Straps. You got to secure your bikes and side-by-sides and all that stuff. This is the best way to do it. So stoked to have those guys there. We're headed to Daytona. Bike week is kicking off. And let's take a quick look at the weather down there. It's looking like 72 degrees, typical Florida this time of year, but 58% chance of rain. I feel like in Florida, that's pretty good odds.
Yeah, it's going to rain.
Yeah, that's very good odds for Florida.
Now, it might not like
area.
At least in the area. There's going to be some rain. But that could also be like it rains for 10 minutes and then we're good.
Yeah, sun's out. Yeah.
I mean, it could literally rain on the NASCAR track or the speedway, but not the track. I mean, Florida's trippy how it rains.
That's true.
So,
yeah, that's very true. Tell us a little bit about, Daytona is obviously a unique animal. Even in our riders meeting show, Chad Reed was talking about how it's, that people call it kind of like an outdoor track, but it's not really. It's just a weird supercross track that almost requires a really technical kind of riding, but you also have to have the fitness and grit to excel there. How would you describe it, Davey? Because it's changed a lot over the years. Probably over the years you first raced it.
When Bailey built it, when Gary built it, it was I would say more very technical, very, very, very technical, and almost to where it didn't make sense. The transitions weren't real, the jumps weren't real. They were just kind of, hey, we're gonna put a single here, and we have no idea where you're gonna go with it. And then they'll take a dozer, and do the edge of the dozer blade all the way down the entire straightaway, and that was to make it rough. And it's like, dude. And then it went into I think it went straight from there to Barnett, right?
I think so, and it's evolved into basically just a supercross track with a little bit faster layout.
Now it's really fast, really fast, really rough, and it's literally supercross jumps, which is good. But yet I feel like the old Daytona, where it was super slow, is where you had more of the technical riders that excelled. This one is endurance. If you have the fitness and you're good at somewhat outdoors, but yet still good at supercross, which I feel like that's why Eli excels there. He has all three.
So that's a good point. And I guess we'll get to some predictions here, but there's a lot of really cool stuff coming together for this one. And I don't know if the start is still the same way. Do they still leave the start grass?
They still leave the start grass every year that I've seen it.
So this is the weirdest damn thing to me. And I remember because I raced there on a 125 once and a 250 once. And I'm watching guys make a choice between taking all the grass that had been roosted off down the back and packing the grass back in the rut, or trying to clean the rut out. And man, everyone had a different strategy for how to do it, but it's like, it's the weirdest damn thing.
I think it's great now though. So it really
is it all great?
It's all great. Yeah. So that the whole grass thing that we had to deal with, doesn't exist. Even though I want to say 99% of the riders that are lined up on that gate have raced Daytona with a grass, minus one or two guys. But to me, it was always that how you got to find a gate that has not a lot of dirt on the backside and not a lot of dirt on the front side, because if it's more grass, you're going to spin.
Yeah.
And you don't want to spin. You don't want to start in the back at Daytona. It's miserable back there. So
and did you ever do it when it was a day race still?
I did. God, I swear I raced in the daytime. I don't think so. My first year there was 2004, so 20 years ago.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. Just aged myself.
04 is actually the first year they went to nighttime. I remember that. So
what year?
Either 03 or 04 was the first year they went to nighttime. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think I raced in the day, obviously, for the heat races and stuff, but the main, or not the heat race, but the practices and stuff, whatever it was all nighttime, I believe, unless they had a night one or a day one they went back to in like maybe 09 or 10. I'm not 100% sure. I don't remember, but if not, they've all been night.
Yeah. Well, it was miserable in the daytime because then you add in the heat and humidity, and it's like it's already longer. But anyway, that's old guy stories. Let's jump right into our. This is our Speed Straps 250 preview. If you got to pick a winner in this class, it's hard to go against Hayden Deegan right now. With Austin Faulkner unfortunately being out, man, if I'm being really honest, I just don't know that anyone's got it under the hood to beat him regularly.
I mean, Faulkner, to me, hands down, was probably the only one that you could line up with him and know that he can beat Hayden. Every single weekend, should I say, every single weekend. I believe McAdoo can beat him on a track like Daytona, just because if you go back to where he, KO'd himself in Atlanta, he was on rails going super fast. He goes fast on these types of tracks. I don't know if it's because he doesn't care, is not scared, and goes
well, we do know
open.
he has big balls.
Yeah, dick-a-do. But he's one that I would put up against Hayden at a track like Daytona. And I want to say Hammaker. I do want to say Hammaker. I want to say Anstey. Anstey just has that brute strength, and she has that typical Euro style riding. And obviously he rides for Marty, who's been one of my best friends. So I'd love to see him do good.
Right.
But yeah.
Let me throw this name at you. What about, this is a guy who I thought could surprise because he's not done Daytona yet, I don't think, is Tom Vial. Two-time world champ.
Okay.
Is riding well in Supercross.
Okay.
I mean, guy got a podium last weekend. Could this be sort of a hybrid where he just shines, like he comes out and lights it up?
I want to say yes, but then again, if he keeps going the way he's going with starting off so slow, he's going to let the front guys get too far ahead at this type of track to where he's not going to be able to close in like he did last weekend. And I would like to see Tom up there. I think he's a great outdoor rider. I do, but this is something that you have so many fast guys in the front that can ride both Supercross and motocross in the 250 class, that if he doesn't come off that gate swinging, on fire to run with those guys, to sprint with those guys, he's not going to be there. That's just my honest opinion.
That's something these European guys, it's tough for them to adapt to. They can do fast timed qualifying, but when the gate drops, and you've got to be 100% right.
That's where Kenny was good.
Yeah.
Kenny was amazing there.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
If he could find his pace at the end of the race at the beginning, you'd have a different Tom Vial, hands down. Because he's an amazing starter. His jump is next level, and his end of the motos, it's not like he gets tired. He's just now like he's like a diesel, just chugging along. And if he could flip it to where he starts off that way, then I feel like he would probably win or be battling with the front with the other 2 or 3 guys, hands down, Daytona, if he starts there on fire. So that's a good name.
Yeah, those are my notes on Tom Vial. He's obviously he's got some motocross experience from being a world champ, but he's got to get his start.
Well, it's the start. He can get a good start, except for when someone takes him out. But it's the
first 5 laps.
Lack of intensity of the first 5 laps that lets everyone get so far away that he's not going faster than the guys in the front to catch him. He might be going 2 tenths or 3 tenths faster at the end. I wasn't looking at lap times this weekend, but he's going fast enough to where he's able to catch up, but not all the way to the front. And Daytona is going to be one of those ones where they're going to sprint like crazy off the bat because they want to break away. They want to be able to breathe when they're racing and not have someone breathing down their neck. the whole 15 minutes. I promise you that.
Bruce, break us down where the points are at in this 250 class right now.
Well, it's very interesting and very close. I mean, you have Anstine leading right now with 38 points. Brown in second at 34. Then third is Bennick. Schock fourth.
They're
Deegan
tied
fifth.
though,
Yeah, Bennick and Schock are tied. And then Deegan is Deegan's fifth. McAdoo, 29, just 2 points behind Deegan. Hymas, Ferris, Miller, and Faulkner. So that's what I wanted to ask too about Anstine having this red plate. You know, what does that do for him this weekend? Is that gonna put pressure on him, or is he just like, you know?
That's interesting because he's never held it, and so
Right.
I don't think any of us can do anything but take a guess. But it'll be fun to watch him and see how he does. Being the points leader, this championship's a real possibility if he could just find just another little level.
Yeah, I mean, he's old enough he's been doing it long enough, should I say, that I don't think there should be any pressure regardless of the color of his plate. You know, I don't even know how old he is, but he's been here a long time. He's raced a lot of races. He's only won one, and now he's a points leader. I mean, to me, I feel like it would give him motivation. It'd amp him up and make him more excited and more driven to want to be there and want to keep it versus just always being that one step behind, you know. And this is a track where, you know, I know MTF and all them down there are building Daytona tracks, and they have all those tracks around them to ride. So he should be adapted really well. So I don't think fitness is an issue for him. So we'll see.
Well,
We'll see how he does.
Seth Hamaker is a good outdoor rider. He was the fastest qualifier last week. He's got the speed to run with these guys. He's just making some little mistakes and hasn't done a lot of racing because he's been hurt so much. So it'll be fun to watch Vial, Hamaker, McAdoo, Anstine. Where do they fit in with Deegan? How does it go? Going to be a good one to watch. Let's jump into our Rock and Turf 450 preview. To me, the thing I'm looking forward to most is I feel like we're getting set up for this Eli, Jett, Cooper Webb, just knockdown, drag out. And I mean, it's going to take the right situation for this to happen. They all need to be up there in the start and kind of stay together for the first half. But watching like the last 10 minutes of that fight, man, I'm like, that's what I'm waiting for.
Yesterday was fun to watch. I mean, I'm like, man, like Eli's coming back. Like everyone's like, oh my God, he's fading. Like, guys, he's had a little over or just under 2 months on the dirt bike, and then you want him to come after so long off, only 2 months on the bike, to come race against guys who have been racing all year and have never, you know, had time off. Literally been on it. Like, it's gonna take some time to get him back, you know. And then he shows up, and let's be honest. I mean, had he started in the front, I think he would have made all of them look silly last night, in my opinion. I feel like he would have. Maybe Jett can step up to that level, but Jett, I think, would have been the only one to be able to do so, because he was going fast last night. He was going really fast.
He was on it.
But I mean, I think him and Jett have Cooper mentally at the very moment. Why, I don't know, but I think after, you know, even seeing if Cooper went back and watched that race, he's going to realize how far back Tomac was and caught him. But I think it's going to be awesome to see at Daytona, especially those three, because they're both three good at this track.
Absolutely. And there was a couple of guys.
They're all three, not both three. They're all three.
Both three of them. I'm really looking forward to that matchup if we get it. And my surprise is I kind of have Webb, Sexton, and then this one here, who I think everyone's sleeping on, and I could be full of crap, but Dylan Ferrandis. He's a better outdoor rider than he is Supercross, by his own admission. And even his agent Button says, man, really, I just want him to get through Supercross healthy because I think he's going to be an outdoor title contender. And I'm like, wow, okay. Could this be a race where Dylan shines?
Are you asking me?
Yeah,
I mean, oh man, I'm gonna say no.
No,
I'm gonna say no, just because it's still so super crossy. I know everyone has it in their head that, oh my gosh, it's motocross, but we used to go with softer suspension back in the day because it was, it was so technical and so bumpy you had to. Now you're running the same stuff, and there's not much difference when it comes to the transitions and the jumps and the whoops now. I get where you're going with Fernandez, yeah, but I feel like he mentally can pull it together for outdoors when they line up on the the first round. But this weekend at Daytona, I don't know. 450? No, 250? Probably.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Interesting.
That's my
Bruce, what are
opinion.
you thinking? Who are you thinking? Who are you looking at this weekend?
You know what? I'm going with Tomac. I'm going with Tomac. He knows he was the fastest this last weekend, and I'm going with him. I feel like he's got a lot of I feel like he's feeling it right now. He knows that he's got some speed and he feels like he's back, and he loves Daytona. So I'm going to go with Tomac.
Yeah, I think that's a smart bet. Smart money's probably on him, but
and he might be good too.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, Sexton will be good. There's still 6 guys who could win this race, but I think that there's 2 things at play here. What Jett is going to go back and, just like you said, he's going to see how far Eli came from the back and caught him, and he's going to not want to let Eli now start building momentum. They're not stupid. Honda sponsors this race. They really want their guys to win this race, so perhaps a little extra motivation there. But you've got Eli going to a place that's like his home. This is his spot, and so I think we have a really good fight coming up. And
Chase,
if I'm putting money down, say it again.
I said Chase can win hands down when he wants to. We're just waiting for him to show up.
And you've working with Juju, you've probably been out at the track with him a good bit. What's your take on where he's at and where he's getting to with that bike and himself?
I mean, he left a while ago to go home to Florida. And when I'm there with Julian, I literally am there with Julian. I mean, I see him testing day in and day out. They're always working on stuff, but at the test tracks, he's fast. He's fast at the test tracks, but he does the same thing when he gets to the race. It's just, I think he's struggling, in my opinion. When he gets the bike dialed at one track, he's having a hard time taking it to track to track. So he hasn't figured out that setting yet. And I think once he figures that setting out, I think, he'll be back. And then his crash and stuff like that with his hurt hand, or whatever happened, I think that set him back a little bit. But I mean, he had fast times this past weekend, and in practice, it's, let's put it together for the main now. Let's not the mud race. Let's go. I know he can. It's just, when's he going to show up? Kind of like Tomac. When was Tomac going to show up?
Yeah. Well, what a cool season, man. Like I said, I'm going with Eli. Bruce, I'm on your bandwagon for this one if I had to pick a winner. What about you? If you had to put some money down?
I put money on Eli. Actually, I put push-ups on Eli yesterday. I bet Julian picked Chase and I picked Tomac, and whoever beat the other one owed push-ups. So, I mean, I didn't have to do anything. Goodness.
How many?
100.
Ooh, okay. Spicy.
Yeah. So if I'm going to bet, it's going to be Tomac again, especially at this place and how he's looking, and just, you could see when he got up on that podium, you could see his smile. It radiated on back. You know what I mean? It wasn't oh man, that was just a good race. No, it was I don't think I've seen Eli smile like that in a long time, because he's very, and very straight faced. That smile was, I'm back, boys. You know what I mean? And
that's what I see.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with Eli hands down at Daytona. But I think he's going to have his hands full with Jett, because I know Jett hands down can step up and rise to any occasion that he needs to. We've seen it. But can he do Eli's pace at Daytona for 20 minutes?
without the mistakes, right? That
Without
Jett's
the
been kind of
mistakes.
beating himself, and that's the problem he's got to sort out.
I mean,
Bruce, real quick, show us the points on this class.
So we got Jett leading with 135. Webb, I mean, he's only a few points down with 132, and then AP's 128, then Sexton fourth, 127, Tomac fifth at 122, and then Anderson 118, Roxon 116. Yeah, and then you got Fernandez 93, Hunter 86.
I love how he calls him Fernandez, and he
Yeah.
he's not even messing around. He really thinks it's Fernandez.
Oh.
So 135 to 122, 13 points is nothing right now. You know,
No.
like I kind of was starting to feel like ET was losing touch. He was at 17 points out. I'm like, man, he can't keep going this way. And he did just what like he needed to do is start chipping it down. And now it's 13 points is nothing.
Yeah,
it's really
Fernandez, by
not
the
that
way.
big of
Sorry.
It's really
No,
I
keep
was-
calling
I was-
Fernandez.
Is a big gap. You
No,
know
I
what,
was
though? I'm going
messing
to be
with him.
honest. AP might surprise us this weekend because he is an outdoor guy. You know,
Yeah.
he is that guy, and he has the confidence right now. He has, you know, more confidence, let's say, than what he's ever had in his life in the 450 class. So he may be pumped going here knowing that, you know, it might suit his style equally versus a normal technical supercross track, you know?
Right. Yeah. Well,
And I'm not meaning
one
that in
thing's
bad
for
way.
sure.
AP's fast, AP's technical, yes, but he might not have the, you know, technical skills like an Eli or a Jett has. He's just on the gas, and I think Daytona might suit him.
Well, I would love it. I think the fans would go absolutely ape shit if he pulled off a win.
Hey, even on the
Doing
podium.
it for Dale. Are you kidding?
Oh man, that would be huge.
That'd be huge. Huge.
All right. Well, one thing's for sure, it's going to be awesome racing. Davey, we sure appreciate your time, buddy.
Yep.
I want to thank Rock and Turf, Maxis, and Speed Straps for supporting this show. Bruce, thanks as always, buddy. And let's enjoy this weekend. It's going to be some great racing. We'll see you guys next Monday for Riders Meeting. So long.